Hello, today is August 20th, 2022. Let's start with our disclaimer. The weekends when we take a look at the longer term picture. We'll go over our calls from Thursday night and make some predictions for Monday. Please follow the rules of my channel. Please remember, this is a plan. I can change it. I can be completely wrong. If you choose to trade based on my plan, do so at your own risk. Friday's pattern was the one with the early low, which we got, and Monday I expect to see a pattern with an early high. We had a few price targets and they printed 42.72.41 and 42.71.88. After a week's wait, we finally get to cross another target off the list, 42.52.24, and we have a new target from Friday's pattern, 42.40.51, and unless we gap down smartly, that's my call for Monday. This is a pattern which usually is a rally pattern, has an early low, a midday drop, and a late high. Normally this late high is higher than these early lows. If it isn't higher, it's a negative pattern. It leads to lower prices. But what counts isn't how we close, but really how we open, which can substitute for Friday's close. So it's negative now, but if we gap up or overtake this high promptly, all that negativity goes away and we have the normal pattern. If that doesn't happen, you look for lower prices, even if you don't close lower. Early on, MEJT gave an ultimate sell signal, so ultimately lower prices would print, which they did. Then it said this drop in the afternoon was a false move, that price would retrace and gives us the target 42.40.51. If we don't gap down smartly, that's the Monday call. We had this huge drop. We had any number of opportunities to add to the drop. This close is over all these intraday lows, and the failure to follow through is actually positive. Now, if we gap and promptly undercut this low, all that positivity goes away. So we have signals which are mixed. We have a negative pattern and a positive pattern. Usually what happens is it gets resolved by gapping and having the market show its hand early. Sometimes it'll close, it'll change Monday and have the big move Tuesday, and once in a while neither one of those things happen. Let's take a look at the longer term picture, see if we can get some clues. Well, here's our long-term count. We're interpreting this as just having completed a huge ABC. We think that's over. We think we're now in a bull phase and we're going to have higher prices. I can't really calculate how high at this time, but I would expect over 5,000 before we're through. Let's take a look at this move up from the green C low. It's impossible to be certain of the count at this point, but for right now I'm counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's wave 2 and here's wave 3. We have good fibs saying that wave 3 is over, and if that's right, which isn't certain at this time, but if that's right, we should be in a fourth wave. Now, there's no hard and fast rule about a fourth wave, but in general, it's usually equal to wave 2, either in terms of price or in terms of time. So you can draw a little rectangle here and figure out either by time or by price what to expect. And if you move this over, even by eyeballing it, you can see we're not even close. But they won't let me move it too far. But the point is we have to go further in the fourth wave. Now, one other characteristic, but not hard and fast rule about the fourth wave, is if wave 2 is simple, meaning it's a straight drop, fourth wave tends to be complex. It tends to have a different character, which means if this is a simple drop, the fourth wave often, not always, but often is an expanded flat. If it's an expanded flat, you could overtake this high without killing the count. In the scheme of things, this isn't a huge correction so far. It wouldn't take much to go over this high, even though I think we're going down before the rally resumes. So let's see how we count this wave going up and this wave going down. Well, we've got a clear 5 waves up in gold. So far, all that's happened is you've had a 50% correction of the 5th wave. Now, what's interesting about where we are is that the road down is giving us an A, a B, and a C, which is exactly equal to A. Now, there's no law that says the wave down has to end with C equal to A. It could end someplace else, but it's a frequent place for it to end. So we have a drop with a good candidate for the end of this first wave down. There's no rule that says you have to have an expanded flat here, but if that is the end of the wave, it certainly is on the table. There's no rule against it. Also, when you look at the NASDAQ-McClellan oscillator, it's way, way, way under its lower Bollinger Band. When it reverses and goes through the lower Bollinger Band, that gives a signal to buy. Now, there's no law that says it has to do it Monday, but it's very far under the lower Bollinger Band now. In the past, it just hasn't stayed under it for that long when it's that low. It's an extreme situation. So our signals are mixed. We use these rules. Monday's pattern has the early high. We could still gap down. There's a higher target. If we don't gap down smartly, the rules call for it to print. Signals are mixed. It's quite negative. The normal bullish pattern Friday didn't close near the high of the day. But if we gap either direction and promptly overtake that high Monday, that's invalidated. That's the one negative thing here. And if we gap overtake to the high, that negativity is gone. On the other hand, it's positive. We closed over midday lows. Positive, we have a higher target. Positive, NASDAQ-McClellan oscillator is very far under its lower Bollinger Band, and it's positive the wave count's compatible with this leg of the decline being over. Bears need to gap down Monday and promptly undercut the low of the day, and if they don't, I expect to see the higher MEJT target and the doors open, even to overtaking last week's high as part of an expanded flat. So we gap up here, there's every reason to believe we're going to hit 42.40.51, and we have a decent chance of going back over this recent high. That doesn't mean the fourth wave's over. That would be an A here and a B, and wave C I would think would be lower than this, but you never know. It's too far ahead for me. Wave 4 as a whole should go greater either in time or price, but that doesn't mean it has to drop Monday, and the door is open to a recovery if we gap up. And if we don't gap up, support fails, and we could go lower. We'll know by the open. The pattern has the early high, and that's today's call.